We'll have a public hearing starting now. The purpose of the hearing is to review the planning commission's recommendation to permanently zone property recently annexed into the city.
Yeah, so this is for property that was annexed into the city on Old Carver Road. So the planning commission met, they made recommendation to zone it B2, which is general commercial, that aligns with the zoning that's already existing, so. Not sure if anybody has any questions.
Questions on this?
If we pass it, when do you think they'll start their construction? Do they have a
They're
timetable?
starting here in the next few weeks.
Okay, so
Yeah.
while the Carver Road project's going on.
Yes, it's gonna be
Okay.
tricky.
Oh, that's fine. I just
Yeah.
want to go down Carver Road.
But this is the last step of the annexation, so after that, then they'll be all in.
Cool.
Any questions? Ms. Williams, there doesn't seem to be any questions.
Okay.
Is
That's
that right
it.
then? We're
Yep.
done?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
The next hearing we have is the presentation on the Burchard Park Improvement Plan. Who's the leader? Mr. Rose?
Mayor Sanchez is going to get us started.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Madam President Angie Reese Protef and City Council, first and foremost, thank you for giving myself and Mr. Gross an opportunity to make this presentation tonight. Over the last year or so, we've had many different public hearings about different conceptualized ideas and things about Burchard Park here in the city of Fremont. City Council and the public, to remind you, the city of Fremont applied for a grant through the Koenig family and was successful at getting that grant in the amount of $600,000. Over the last many months, we have been looking at many different options inside of Burchard Park. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Mary Gregg Coons, who are here with us this evening. About 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer, 10 years ago, I sat down with this family who really had a vital interest in making significant improvements throughout our community. They had a vision, but I think they really had a dream that they didn't think that could come to reality. After many hours of conversations and talking to many other different folks, I think they quickly realized that the dream could become a reality. However, it needed more than just them, and it needed more than just the city of Fremont. When that seed was planted and it's grown, what we have here with us this evening what is now a nonprofit organization called the Burchard Historic Neighborhood District. This group of people is nothing more than what I would consider a normal, ordinary citizen who really cares about the passion, the commitment, and the investment inside the city of Fremont. These folks volunteer their time. They spend countless hours coming up with ideas, donating their own hard-earned dollars, and working together for the betterment of the city. One of the most important reasons why this group is so important to me is during a very crucial time in our country, I think the city of Fremont has led some very strong, big projects through a bipartisan effort. In this group, we have some elected officials, we have some business owners and citizens that are both Democrat and Republican, but when they sit at the table, they sit at the table for what's in the best interest for the city of Fremont. And that's something that I've strived to bring under my leadership within the city. As a result of the Think Fremont plan that was written by myself, Mr. Bob Gross, Downtown Fremont Director Christy Bilger, Mr. Kern, and many other people from the community, we've seen significant seeds being planted that have been watered and are now grown. From our industrial park, to the housing, to jobs, to our rec center, our programs, Roger Young Park, and now we are taking that momentum into Burchard Park. With that being said, if we could, Berkshire Historic Neighbors, if you would stand up, the members of the Berkshire Historic Group, if you could just stand up, please. And I'd ask everyone to give them a round of applause. Thank you sincerely for what you all do inside the city of Fremont. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Gross, who has really helped lead this initiative with the Berkshire Historic Neighborhood District. And I feel like I hear Mr. Albrecht coming in. He's here. He's with Denny Yachty, imagine that. Hey there, how are you?
How you doing?
Well, you're known by voice, you mean.
I was waiting for Mr. Albrecht to arrive. I also would like to give him a special thank you, as he has been very instrumental on this board, not only from a conceptualized idea standpoint, but also with his background as an attorney. And he's just planted trees, to giving legal advice, to helping come up with ideas about what they are going to present. So Mr. Albrecht and Mr. Gross are going to take over from here and lead the presentation. So thank you, Joe. Thank you.
I'm going to slide back here so everybody can see the screen. If you look at the screen at the bottom, there that is my Luther B. Hayes bobblehead doll. That is my good luck bobblehead doll in honor of him and his family and the generous gift that they gave to the city of Fremont decades ago through Burchard Park. And so, as Mayor Sanchez has indicated, there's sometimes projects or decisions have to be made, city leadership just has to make it, but occasionally there are projects where you can involve a lot of folks and from all over the community and all through the neighborhood, and this is one of those projects that we solicited all kinds of opinions, had several meetings, and we think we have a beautiful plan that doesn't tamper with the character of the park and the intent of why the park exists. So overall view, overall layout. So what you see here is the work of Thomas Porter Architects. We formed a committee of folks both in the neighborhood association and folks not in the neighborhood association. We've had multiple public meetings. Andy Knopp at Thomas Porter Architect has given his number, and so I know he has taken phone calls from folks, and he has digested that information to come up with this plan. And so what did we want out of there? Well, that's a historically great park for the city of Fremont, and I think we owe it to Sardis Burchard to maintain it, improve it without losing its intent, and I think we've done that through this plan. We want it to exist or enhance existing amenities while preserving the park character. We want to improve safety and accessibility, and then only 13% of the lot is developed, with 87% remaining as green space. And so we had all kinds of demographics give us feedback. And if you look at this, and there'll be other slides, we centrally located the shelter house, restrooms, and playground equipment in the middle of the park, and that's done for various reasons. One, the natural distance from the streets create a safety barrier, safety distance. If there is noise, maybe the noise can be not as loud or muffled by the trees and the tree canopy. But we had a couple mothers with young children, and this really came from them. Boy, how nice would it be if I could be there with my child, watch one child play, and I can see the restrooms right over here. I can see my child go to the restrooms. And if you're familiar with Burchard Park now, you know that that doesn't exist. That there's a shelter house, then you got to walk across further to the restrooms, and then walk over here. And so to keep those amenities in close proximity and centralized seemed to be the right thing to do, and seemed to be where this conversation was headed. I know in the past we had had conversations about trees and green space. So here we are. No living tree, no live tree will be removed. We had different options where maybe you only had to remove one tree or two trees. And this park is laid out in a way that it does not call for the removal of one living tree. And if you look closely, you can see sidewalks that bump up around trees. But now, be careful, it does call for the removal of dead trees or hazardous trees, and it also calls for planting new trees. If you're familiar with the park, you know that we've lost several trees the last few years, and luckily it's loaded with trees, and we still have a lot of trees there, but we don't have as many as we did. And so as part of this phase-in plan, we were going to plant 2 trees for every 1 tree that has to be removed. And so we want to, we think with the established trees that are there, planting some new trees, you know, now as the older ones die, we have some infill and backups, younger trees to pick up the growth. We talked about the mature canopy. You know, just a few years ago, you couldn't see sunlight. We've lost some trees and see some sunlight get through. And so it really is a passionate goal of ours is to restore or maintain that canopy. This is more of a topical view. The basketball courts stay the same. The tennis courts there. We, you know, we had a long debate about parking and whether we want it or don't. Where do we want it? How do we want it to look like? And there is a parking lot here. Now it's 18 spots. It's about the size of the parking lot. Maybe the amphitheater parking lot's a little bit bigger than this one. So if you want to kind of, well, I wonder what that's going to look like. I think there's maybe 16 or 18 spots at the parking at the amphitheater. So that's a good comparable. And the idea behind this is handicapped folks, folks with limited mobility. If you have ever been there for an event, you park on the edge, now you gotta walk through this uneven ground to the shelter house, and that's only halfway to the restrooms. And so ideally then, if you're having birthday parties, you're bringing out coolers and trays, and you know, that's quite a distance. And so this parking lot here addresses limited mobility, allows for handicapped folks to have easy access. This turnaround is great for safety because now Fremont PD can pull in there and patrol. And it's great for maintenance. Instead of the stone path or driving through the grass, our Parks Department can pull in there and use the turnaround.
Is that off of Jefferson?
That is off Jefferson.
Okay.
And then, and we really view this as kind of a drop-off. So there's some parking lots here, but even if they're full, you can come, drop kids off, drop coolers off, and then come back out here. When we talk about parking, we always get worried that, boy, we hate to lose parking. Well, by laying it out this way, there's actually a total of 64 parking spaces. 46 on the street and 18 in the parking lot.
It's Washington.
Or Washington, did I got that screwed up? Okay.
The parking's off of Washington.
Listen, I heard grumblings. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
All these people knew I was wrong.
Christine got it, not me.
So I appreciate you having my back with it. All right, now I'm off track.
Just for now.
So, as you can see, you know, the parking currently is now front to back. We actually did a parking analysis study. We had the architect do that. They came back with the recommendation of doing parallel parking for multiple reasons. One, it's safer. 2, we actually regain some green space. I think that had always been an issue, but the parking lots that are perpendicular chews up a lot of green space in the stone there. But if we switch to parallel parking, some of the green space we may lose here, we actually regaining it around here, and so we are not at a net loss of green space for the park. Playground equipment, there's a plaque there that says the current playground equipment was donated to the city by the Kiwanis organization in 1999, and we want to continue to honor that donation and gift to the city. We've been in conversations with playground equipment companies, and they think they can rehabilitate that. And so similar to Roger Young Park, where there is the all-inclusive play park here, shelter house, and then a sidewalk over to the existing play structure, the setup is going to be similar to that. We're going to rehab this facility and then add new pieces of playground equipment next to it. And so, you know, not only are we getting new, but we're getting more. Keep going here. Architectural design, like I said, is designed by Thomas Porter Architect. We wanted to dress it up a little bit, just out of respect for Sardis Burchard and the gift to the city. You know, we decided these archways. And what's nice about these archways is, and I'll tell you this here, the roof line of the archways matches or will match the roof line of the new shelter house. The other interesting component here is these stone columns. So Mr. Koenig and his family that donated the money live out in the country, and we came to find out that the stone for the wall at the entrance of the Presidential Center came from a field out by Elmwood. And at that grand opening, Mr. Koenig introduced me to his neighbor, and he said, I got piles of stone. You just got to come get it. So what we did as part of an incorporation here is, boy, that would be complimentary to the city and to the Presidential Center if we could grab that same stone and incorporate it in Burchard Park. And from a functionality standpoint, we really believe these two parks, we want them to, between the Presidential Center and Burchard Park, to complement each other and have some symmetry. We know there are a lot of folks in the neighborhood that bounce back and forth, who walk laps and then walk through the neighborhood. And we're really hoping with the walkability of this park, there is more of that. You'll see, we really wanted this park to be inviting, which is part of the archway. And then this is kind of a summary. I know I may have left things out, so I'm going to look at Joe and ask Joe, what did I miss?
You know, this story's very long, Bob. You don't want to ask a lawyer who makes a living by words.
Oh, shoot, okay.
Happy to.
But, you know, and so I'm sure I maybe have left some stuff out. If you have questions, we really, truly try to stick to the intent of what was written in the deed. We really tried to honor the wishes of those that gave feedback. You can't make 16,000 people happy, but you try to make as many of them happy. You know, I think everybody got a little something they wanted, but not everybody got everything, you know, maybe they wanted in the park. And I think this dresses up the park, makes it great for generations to come, while preserving the history and character and intent of the park.
Are the bathrooms vandal-proof?
They will be, yeah. So, and that's a great point. So, in the shelter house, the restrooms are at the shelter house. So, to put it in comparison, the shelter house at Walsh Park that maybe cross country or track uses, it's going to be about that same size, with the restrooms built into it at the one end. But that's a great question. And then, yes, we've had talk where whatever it is, whether it's concrete or stone, sinks and toilets or whatever is indestructible is, I think, what we want to do here.
This is a really goofy question, but if there's money left over, would you consider heating the basketball court since kids were shoveling snow off of it this spring to play?
Basketball courts?
I mean, literally, there are kids shoveling it off. I mean, kids use that park daily, and they start before the snow's completely gone. So I think this is great. Adding new playground equipment
What's
is
really
necessary.
nice about this park is the money we got from the Koenig family we can use now, and we plan to use immediately for the new shelter house. But what this plan allows us to do is layer in the amenities as money comes in. Mayor Sanchez is committed to not using the local dollars and strictly applying for grants. And so we have several, and I don't know if you want to speak to the grants, Mayor Sanchez?
Yeah, I know Councilwoman Briggs asked a question early on when we were doing budget about the soft cost dollars for Burchard Park when we had that in the budget. And one of the things that I went back and looked at on this project was there's approximately $80,000 to $85,000 still in soft costs that has to be spent on the final design and all the engineering for the park. The project, the pictures that Mr. Gross showed you this evening, separate from the sign, the pavilion, it's an estimated close to $500,000, between $485,000 and $500,000 in cost to build this shelter house, which will seat nearly just a little over 100 people with electricity and things like that. To be able to be fully utilized for graduation parties or elementary school or middle school or even high school, field trips, and many other community events. So I feel comfortable that we're going to be able to add that soft cost into the $600,000 without utilizing any of our local tax dollars when we initially thought we were going to be spending that $85,000 out of our budget, which would still have been a great deal for the citizens to spend that matching money into a $600,000 grant. With that being said, that's going to cut us short on some of the additional playground equipment that we would like to do, which is why we refocused on rehabilitating some of the playground equipment we have now, repainting. However, we still should have enough money to get that area at least a rubberized mulch material to clean that out, so that way the kids that are using it aren't getting the splinters and things like that. What Mr. Gross was referencing was the city of Fremont also has a pending grant right now in with the state of Ohio for a capital improvement grant that we did use the $600,000 grant that we received as a match to the state, and we're keeping our fingers crossed to, in hopes that we do get some of those dollars. And not knowing whether we're going to get those dollars and not knowing how much those dollars are going to be, it would be unfair for me to commit to what we would be able to do to conclude the full vision of the plan. But I feel like we're in a very good place because we've strategically planned this project for many years, and when the $600,000 grant came upon us, we were already, what we always say, is project ready by having that strategic plan. So I'm hopeful that the state is able to deliver some capital funding requests to complete the playground equipment, the signage, and maybe even some of the walking paths. But we're going to do as much as we can, and we're going to continue to apply for grants now that we have this project in motion. I will also say that the Rutherford B. Hayes Center, Downtown Fremont Inc., the Historical Society, the Visitors Bureau, the Chamber, we have aligned ourselves with all of those civic organizations, the Berkshire Historic Neighborhood District, and Mr. Gross and myself went out and got numerous support letters when applying for these grants, which makes it hard to say no when you're affecting an entire community. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. I know that's a long answer, but I just wanted to make sure to assure the public that we're doing everything we can to make improvements through our parks, just like Roger Young Park, without utilizing our local tax dollars. That we can't use the $600,000 to go pave streets, essentially is what I'm saying. So, yes, sir.
Well, you know, you got pocket change. You could just pull that out and help pay for this stuff that we need.
I'm so looking forward to painting playground equipment with you.
Just tell me when.
I
Is
know.
there a publicized timeline for this nursing home?
So, great question. I would like to have this, my goal is to have this project out for bid by the end of September. Mr. Frost has been leading that part of the project with the engineer, and Mr. Frost informed me today that he thinks that we can get this out to bid by the end of September. And we really paid attention to the park this spring with all the amount of rain that we got.
Yeah.
So my goal and Mr. Frost's goal is to actually have construction started in the winter. That way the ground's frozen and it's hard. That way we're not coming upon us in spring and we're delayed getting into the park because of how wet the ground is and we're tearing up the park. So Mr. Frost assured me that he was going to do his best to get that construction going over the winter, so that way when the weather breaks, they can focus on the full construction on. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
So hopefully out to bid in September and construction starting early 27.
So usable possibly by summer 27?
Yes.
Goal. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to have it done by March or April of next year, so 10 or 11 months.
Thank you.
We will be coming back to council for, so I apologize.
No.
We will be coming back to council. We have to get some things passed to make all of that happen. Thank you.
I just wanted to say first, thank you to the city of Fremont, the mayor, safety service director, Bob, Parks Department. I have just really been impressed at the effort that's been made across the city to make this project happen. And the important thing is, why are we doing this? I mean, we have to ask the question. It's a block. Boy, it could be a great residential place, but why do we do this? I passed out to members of council a copy of the 1871 deed from Sardis Burchard. I should share with you that even though I believe myself skilled in reading the law, the language from 1871 is a little bit different than what we use today. Very similar, but and as a result of that, in our joint efforts at the Burchard Historic Neighborhood and the the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Center, we jointly collaborated to give what is now, and it's on the Burchard Historic Neighborhood website. George, is that correct, on the website or Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we published this, so if you want to
Yes.
read it yourself. But what we did is we did a true transcription of what's called a diplomatic transcription of the words that were used by Sardis Burchard at the time. And I wanted to just outline just a handful of those. The property was gifted by Sardis Burchard to the city of Fremont, forever and in fee simple. The land thereby conveyed shall be forever kept and preserved as public parks or pleasure grounds, words we don't use these days, for the free and use of the inhabitants of the city of Fremont. And it goes on to say, and this is interesting, the said city shall, as far as practicable, protect the birds upon said grounds and prevent all shooting at a mark or at any game upon the same. Thinking 1871, this was still pretty wild country going on out there. And not permit any living trees on said grounds to be cut down or destroyed except at the direction of a committee that was appointed by the parks. We have honored that request with this development and this project, with a view toward improvement and ornamentation of the grounds. And then it goes on that the inhabitants of the city of Fremont should be utilizing this parks for their health, safety, welfare, and so on. Certainly, if you are interested in reading the entirety of the transcript, there might be a couple copies left. Again, Burchard Historic Neighborhood Association has this on its site. I will add just a couple other thoughts. This park plays really a central part in the development of the west side of the city of Fremont. In many regards, one of the first growth areas that came as a result of Sardis Burchard's death, conveyed to Rutherford B. Hayes and a couple of other family members, and then later developed. It is a hallmark in terms of an architectural region as well as a green space region, and provides really an amazing canopy and place for people to gather. When we don't take care of our parks and we don't invest in our parks, we lose opportunity to commune. We lose opportunities in our community. And the proposition that's now before council, before the citizens of the Fremont, is giving us an opportunity to reconnect as a community. These walkways and trails, many of you, I'm sure, and I've seen some of you, walk Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Spiegel Grove. Now we have nearly 4 miles of canopied walking space by the addition of these spaces. Between there and Hayes, you can get your 10,000 steps in very, very easily and never trace the same pathway. The beauty of this also is it gives opportunity for families to gather, gives us modernized facilities, and in my opinion is a legacy project. 1960, this was last done. Can you believe it? 85 years ago, founders of this, leaders of this community made a commitment to make the park what it is. We now are that next generation. We are those people that are leaving a legacy for our community. And I have been incredibly proud as a member of the Burchard Historic Neighborhood, a citizen of Fremont, and to have worked with all of the people that made this happen. So my hat's off to you and my applause to all of you in the city of Fremont, members of council. We look forward to your continued assistance, participation, in making this legacy possible for another 3 generations of Fremonters. So thank you.
Thank you.
We got time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. If we didn't,
Along the walkways in there, will there be any park benches?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
'Cause my mother's older and she has mentioned that before. Great to have park benches in there.
Yeah, there's a couple of things not addressed. One is park benches, lighting. There'll be lighting through there. There will be, not only are there shelter houses where multiple picnic tables are, but we're going to work in smaller shelter houses with single picnic tables, so that if a family is there, you can have a certain sense of privacy and kind of escape and not have to share a shelter house. In closing, the last thing I want to say is, and Ms. Briggs brought up a timeline, I want to set realistic expectations in that this is going to be a phased-in project over the next several years as money comes in. So I don't want to send, I think the message here is we're going to be able to go do the shelter house starting at the end of this year. And then we then have a plan. I think what we have been really successful is when grant opportunities come up, we're like, oh, what should we do? And we don't have a plan, and so you're left scrambling. What this does is we have a plan with cost estimates, what each item costs, and what it will take to construct it. And so when grant opportunities come, we can just go to the shelf, pull out this phase, the next phase, the next phase, and then implement it over time. And so anybody that's ever worked with grants, sometimes they're like, you have this great grant opportunity, but you only got 30 days to get everything done. And then, so I think having plans like this quickens our response time to submit for these grants.
Mr. Gross, I got a question on the roadway going in for the helping out, whether it's the handicap or anybody that has a disability. We also have to consider retiring from Fremont City Schools and being a bus driver along with teachers. I know there'll be a lot of outside schools come. Did they consider it big enough for a bus to do a turn in their school bus?
So our plan would be that the school buses would have to park on the perimeter. It would just be easier and safer. We didn't want to make this parking lot too big and chew up too much green space.
I was just curious.
I think the other thought, if you notice, there are sidewalks on both sides of the parking lot. So you can exit your car, not have to walk across the parking lot. You can kind of, so that's a nice safety feature. And then I thought, because you were a musician, you were going to ask me about the stage.
Yeah, I was getting
I can tell by the look on your face.
I gotta
you're
get
really
the
worried
people
about
there
that stage.
first, so that's why I wanted.
No, the stage,
make sure there
I
was
think we had
nothing-
kicked that around, but I think we had ultimately determined the stage is going to stay in some form, not the current stage, because that one needs help. But as part of, I think, the process of redeveloping Burchard Park, there will be a stage there.
We're going to look at trying to get that stage back into working order, and then we would still like to continue some concerts in the park.
So, and the stage will be similar to what's there, kind of a smaller stage.
Maybe a cover.
All right. All right. Madam President, thank you for your time this morning, or this afternoon. It's been a long day already. It feels like it's already. All right, thank you.
I think, I'd like to mention that I think this is a very historical meeting. Things are going to be written down in history, and we're all going to be there. Thank you. Okay, before our meeting starts, I have another presentation by Mr. Oddie, Councilman Oddie, on the TNR location, or?
Exactly. I know the mayor kind of appointed me to a committee represent from City Council. TNR stands for Trap, Neuter, and Replace.
Release.
Release, I've heard replace being used already because we do replace them back to the same place they came from. It's kind of a lot of people in town have been talking about feral cats. And I would say it's kind of a soft approach on how to take care of the situation. So at that time, I would like to introduce the TNR representatives that are here.
My name's Teresa Joseph. Some of you know me. This is my partner in crime, Marge Hurt. And together, along with some other ladies, we have formed a group called Community Pause TNR Initiative. And Mr. Audi is correct. TNR stands for Trap, Neuter, Release. And we got involved. We've been involved with the Humane Society over the past few years, and over time, as serving on the Humane Society board and everything, people start to reach out to you when there's issues, and normally the calls we get are cats. I also work downtown, so I see cats. Christy,
Yes,
I've been in contact with Christy a few times, so thank you for your help. But we see cats a lot, and a lot of them are here by no fault of their own. And so that's where we're stepping in to kind of help get the pet population under control by starting this program for TNR. So it is a voluntary-driven organization, and we're dedicated to humanely reducing the stray and feral community cat population in Fremont and the surrounding areas through trap, neuter, and release, education, and community support. If you don't know, cats reproduce pretty quickly without intervention. A mom can have several litters within a year, and I will tell you, we are in the heat of kitten season. So once the weather starts to turn and warm up, they start producing like crazy. They can have one litter and then within a couple of months be pregnant again. So it is something that we definitely are seeing quite a bit of, and we are in a race to get these pregnant mamas spayed. Other issues with the community cats are nuisance concerns, noise, odor, fighting. I can't tell you how many people call us that they're using their gardens as the litter box, or spraying their homes, or the fighting that they hear at night. It's definitely an increase in strain with our Sandusky County Dog Kennel for the humane agent, and then the shelters. The shelters are overwhelmed. Every single shelter, every single rescue out there is beyond capacity, and there is no more room to take in any more animals. I will say we've always had a community cat issue, but with COVID, when the veterinarians were shut down, spay neuter was done. We could not spay and neuter any animal, and it just catapulted the problem of the stray cats in the population.
That's amazing.
So with TNR, it's a humane and effective approach. We trap the cats humanely. We take them to our partner veterinarians in Humane, Ohio, and they get spayed or neutered. Females are spayed, males are neutered, and they're vaccinated. So they get the rabies and distemper shots. They are ear-tipped so that colony caregivers and trappers know that those cats have been taken care of. Then they are returned to their home. So some of you may have neighbors or friends or know of people who are colony caregivers. Some of them are 80, 90-year-old ladies that are doing this, and they are taking care of dozens, if not dozens, dozens of cats. And there are communities that have introduced or put in no feed bans, so that these 80, 90-year-old ladies get ticketed and prosecuted for violating that ban. I can tell you that doesn't work, and it's not a good look on any community to then go ticket an 80, 90-year-old woman trying to help out animals. The results of TNR, it stops reproduction immediately. Once they're spayed and neutered, no more babies. No more baby daddies, no more baby mamas. Okay? Reduces the spraying, reduces the fighting, improves public health through vaccination, because again, they're getting their rabies and their distemper shots. And it stabilizes the population and gradually reduces the population over time. So what happens, they can no longer reproduce. The cats over time die off, for lack of a better way to put it. So what we are doing, our organization, is we are coordinating humane trapping efforts. We went live for public probably a little over a month ago. And I can tell you on average, we're receiving 2 to 3 inquiries a day. People say, hey, I need help, my neighbor needs help. My 80-year-old neighbor has, in fact, I just saw a post today in our chat for a lady calling about her 80-year-old neighbor who has 10 cats that is overwhelmed. We have partnered with veterinarians in Humane, Ohio that are helping us at a reduced cost to take care of these cats. And we're supporting colony caregivers. People are overwhelmed. They start out in a meaningful way, trying to help, oh, that poor little kitty, I'm gonna help them. And then they start feeding, and guess what? They invite all their friends. And before you know it, it's a big problem. The other part is educating the public on the humane solution. Unfortunately, we know there are folks out there who don't particularly care for cats. And so their way of disposing of them is not a humane way to do it. We've heard of people trapping cats and leaving them in the traps until they die, exposed to the elements, poisoning them, shooting them, capturing them as bait and using them in dogfighting rings, things like that. Yes, it does happen in our community, in our county. What we are looking for, oh, before I move forward, I gave you, there's an attachment for estimated cat population based on the city of Fremont population of around 15,800 residents. And these estimates are based on nationally used community cat population ratios, commonly referenced by TNR and animal welfare organizations. So a conservative estimate in the city, within the city of Fremont is 790 feral stray community cats. We like to call them community cats because they didn't get there on their own. Moderate estimate, just over 1,000. A higher estimate, over 1,200. So your estimated range of 800 to 1,200 community cats. So everybody gets a cat. It's called the cat distribution system. And then for Sandusky County, almost 60,000 residents, we have a conservative estimate of over 2,900 cats, moderate 3,800, higher estimates 5,000 or more. I live outside the city limits. I live in the country. I probably have 2 to 3 cats dumped a year on my property. Usually they're sick, they're not fixed, and I've spent thousands of dollars getting them fixed and healthy and rehomed. Some of them to my own home. Okay, so we are here, one, to introduce ourselves and to get your support and to spread the word in the community that we are here to help. We are a legitimate organization, and our heart is in the right place to help the community and to, more importantly, help these cats and to get the pet population under control. We work alongside with Kelly. Kelly has been good, our humane agent, to notify us of situations where folks need help. We support in educating the public. So like and share our page on Facebook. We are trying to get education out there. We are educating folks as we meet with them. And over time, benefits to the city are fewer complaints, lower shelter intake and cost, improved community satisfaction, and that's a humane, proactive approach. So we're asking for your support. We do have a meet and greet fundraiser event on May 18th at Live Edge. So we would like to see everybody there. We'll have some raffles and fundraisers, and you can meet the team of crazy cat ladies who are out in the rain, sleet, snow.
I am a part of that community. I have 5 children, by the way.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that is any questions?
Just a comment.
Yeah.
Council, several weeks ago, I met with the group of folks who have taken on this initiative. In fact, they were at the Berkshire Public Library using some of the brand new space, which was really nice. And I think at that meeting, there were approximately 6 to 8 individuals.
We have
Was there-
18 in our group right now.
But
There was
that
probably about
evening-
20 there that night, I think.
Was there more?
There
Was there
might have
20?
been. Might have been.
A little bit smaller group. Anyways, I spent a lot of time with them, just hearing their concerns, hearing their questions, and I will tell you, without, number one, I've known Mrs. Joseph for many years, so for her to be involved in something like this, I know that it's something that her and her husband wouldn't get involved in something if they weren't making a difference in the community. That's what they do together. I have a lot of respect for you and your family.
Thank you.
But with that being said, I think it's important for the city to really take into consideration what she's talking about tonight. I can tell you as the mayor, this isn't something I can solve alone. And I get a lot of calls and a lot of concerns about this issue throughout the city, whether it's through downtown or whether it's through residential neighborhoods. And And I'll be quite honest with you, as much as I try to problem solve, I'm almost throwing my hands up because I truly don't have the answer. But to see the number of people, ladies, and I don't know if there's any gentlemen involved with them or not, but this evening it was all ladies. And, well, you weren't there that evening. So I was quite impressed. They are finalizing, I believe, their nonprofit status.
We have our 501.
We're done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we're approved.
So I think the city would be a fool not to have a working relationship with these folks in some type of financial way. The bottom line, this costs money, but it's a taxpayer's problem. And I know that we haven't budgeted for anything, and I don't think we need to decide that tonight, but I have not had a chance to speak with the auditor about that. But I'm definitely looking at making some type of financial contribution from the city's end and challenging not only the council members to support that, but our county commissioners and the other villages and townships in the county, because this is not just a city of Fremont issue. It's a county issue, and it's something that we need to address as a county from a local government standpoint together. And I believe that if we address this together, you won't have one city or one county dropping cats off any other county. The problem, my concern is if everyone doesn't get involved in this, then I don't want Fremont to be the cat hub, where people are like, well, the city of Fremont's giving money, drop your cat off there.
Yeah.
We need to, as elected officials and as leaders, we need to support this organization, and we need to challenge our other elected officials in the county and our business leaders. I think if we all do a little, we can make a lot and a big impact. If you could just share the cost of what one cat would cost.
So normally, if it's your own pet cat, you're looking at about $500 minimum to get them fixed and all that stuff. Our veterinary partners in Humane Ohio, who we also take cats to for spay neuter once a month, we're looking anywhere between $60 to $120 a cat. It's a huge savings for us, but it still costs money. And at any time, we're taking minimum, depends on the vet and depends on the openings, but 7 to 10 cats. We have one local vet here in Fremont who has partnered with us. They're very excited about this. And we are building up to where they will do 20 cats on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that once this word gets out, and I think as much as we want the word out, we have to be careful that we don't overwhelm this
Yes.
group of individuals. Remember, these are all volunteers.
Correct.
These are 18 to 20 volunteers. No different than, in fact, if you're a volunteer in the community, raise your hand. How many do we have here this evening? Most people are here are volunteers, and that says a lot. So if they're giving their time, effort, and energy, then I think it's up to us as a city to support that. So I just wanted to state that publicly.
Mayor, if I may say, so as downtown Fremont, I personally have trapped and caught 12 at retail price cats, 5 I own who have actually been shot and, are filled with BB things. And so this is phenomenal because when you see a dog running loose, most people will stop their car and they'll be like, oh, what happened to this dog? Why isn't this dog tethered to someone? When they see a cat running loose, they don't care.
Correct.
Sometimes they will actually speed up to hit said cats.
Yes.
And I can just tell you, personally, I am committed. I have been downtown almost 14 years. I have 5 personal cats who are old cats, who've been abused, who have been shot, that I know own and I take care of, and I've placed at least 20 cats on my own. So, I understand there's a lot to do. There's a lot with safety and service and so forth. But this is really very much needed. And it's, instead of me paying thousands of dollars retail, which I'm happy to give to the vets, but it would have been great to not pay $500 times 12. But it really does help our community. And I have to tell you, the downtown business owners are all aligned with me. They help me feed, and knowing that I will trap them and I will catch them and then I will release them. I currently have a young lady called Mama Cat who I've been taking care of for 9 years. And so it really helps. It really helps with that community input, and thank you so much for that, because
No, thank
we have
you.
a lot of private business owners and businesses up on private residents up on Garrison Street who are helping me trap these cats and fix them. So this is really, really needed because, you know, they're a part of our landscape, but thank you so much for that. We're happy to help at Live Edge. But they are really doing a really great thing. And I would love to take more cats in, but I'm at capacity. At this
Same.
point, everybody I know has a cat for me. If you want a cat, you're getting one.
Yes.
So,
We
you
can
know,
send
this
everybody
is-
home with a cat today.
I just have them, I have them at my office, I have them at my house, I have them everywhere. So, thank you so much for helping me
Thank
with
you,
this.
thank you.
Dr. Barnes, formerly, if any of you know Dr. Barnes, who used to have a practice in Fremont for over 40 years, she did this, and when I came in downtown, we connected, and she helped me get the lingo for this. So I cannot say enough for you for helping me with this, because this is wonderful. I mean,
Thank
it
you.
really is. Again, nobody thinks anything of seeing a cat running down the street, but if they see a dog, they just act like, oh my gosh, we gotta find the owner.
Right.
So, you know, be kind to the cats, we're taking care of it, and it does take an effort. So thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
there
you.
are men and women downtown who for years have worked on this. So thank you for helping us. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we
Thank you,
appreciate,
everyone.
thank you. We appreciate
Yes.
you. I appreciate your help. I know you and I've
Yes.
had conversations in the past where
Yes.
I pull into the parking lot at Krogan and I see a couple of cats. I'm like, here, kitty. I don't pass up
And
the
I'm like,
cats.
they get fancy feast
Yeah.
3 times a day,
Yeah.
don't worry.
So then I see
Yes.
food over at downtown
Yes.
Fremont building, and I'm
Yes.
messaging Christy. I'm like, can I feed them? She's like, I got it. I'm like,
I
okay,
got it,
got
yep.
it, okay.
They're spoiled.
Yes, so
Yes.
I appreciate you too.
Thank
so
you.
I work to a fellow cat lover.
Yes, I know.
So yes, she's right. Everyone, you know,
Yes.
stops for the dog. I stop for dogs too. I've loaded them up in my truck and taken them to Kelly. But you're right, people speed up and try to kill the cats, and I've even had calls from people living in apartment complexes in town saying, hey, can you please come get this kitten, this cat?
It's minus 20 degrees, can you take them?
I've done that, yes.
Yeah, I've been there.
Because the neighborhood kids are
Yeah.
abusing the cats, abusing the kittens. I had one that one child had thrown into
Yeah.
a hole in the apartment complex, and yes, I just got done at the gym, got the call,
Yeah.
went and picked it up, took it home, and much to Bruce's dismay, he's looking at me, like, what is that? And I'm like,
I know.
I don't tell you. I have 8, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I've kept. I've rescued, I can't tell you how many, and rehomed. So,
Guys ain't got nothing.
it's
My
definitely a
mother-in-law
huge
had
problem.
17.
My father-in-law owns multiple rental properties. I can't tell you how many times he's gone when if someone has moved out, either by eviction or their own free will, walked in, opened the door, and cats go running out.
Yep.
Doesn't leave 'em.
Super
And-
Bowl Sunday, I got 2 of them.
They're not fixed.
Yep. Yep.
They've been in the building without food and water for days, and so immediately the door opens and they're out. And guess what? Now they're out in the community, and if they make it, they start reproducing. So,
Thank you for being.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. We
Yes.
appreciate your support. Please like and follow us on Facebook. Please come to our event, and please let people know that, yes, we are a legitimate organization,
Yes.
and we are here. Please don't overwhelm us. We are taking volunteers for trapping, and we will train you, and for transporting. So if you have the time and the energy to do it, it is some work, but I can tell you it's very rewarding as well.
I
have
think you
three
need to
quick-
donate. We volunteered Jim to go be the trappers.
I have 3
I
quick
thought it'd be
things.
you
Sure.
and me.
One,
I thought it'd be
everybody
you and me.
remember the event, May 18th at the Live Edge,
From 5 to 7?
Yes.
5 to 7.
Yep.
Also, I wanted to squelch a rumor that I know there's a problem out at Young's Trailer Court, and people were saying they were trapping the cats and killing them. That is not true. There was trappers out there, it was for skunks and possums,
Yep.
and they did trap one cat and immediately released it. And the other thing, last thing I'll bring up, remember there's a event, May 18th, Live Edge, 5 to 7.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Is that it then?
Yes, thank you.
Council people want to take a minute break?
No.
No.
Okay, I agree. That's the end of that, and the beginning of our meeting. Rise for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody, to the regular meeting of Fremont City Council on this, the 7th day of May, 2026. As a courtesy, please place cell phones on off or on silent mode. Roll call, please.
Briggs.
Here.
Weiss.
Here.
Addie.
Here.
Elder.
Here.
Libo. Reese.
Here.
Sleep.
Here.
Okay, council has received the journal of the minutes of the previous meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the meeting, to the minutes? Then the minutes will stand approved as written and received.
Madam Pro Tem, I would like to excuse Mr. Libo.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
And Ms.
Oh,
Yes,
Thank you. I'll second that too.
thank you, Chris.
thank you. Roll call?
Elder.
Yes.
Libo. Reese.
Yes.
Sleep.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
This, we have 3 items on the agenda. Does council wish to remove any item from the agenda? Does council want to add an item to the agenda? Okay, the agenda is set. We will have the item number 1 read.
First reading of an ordinance adopting the recommendation of the Planning Commission to zone the area accepted for annexation by ordinance number 2026-4293 containing .971 acres of land, more or less, as B2 General Commercial District.
Madam President Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to suspend Rule 4.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Weiss.
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Sleek.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, that has been moved and seconded. First by Mr. Elder and seconded by Mr. Addie. Roll call, please.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes,
Sleek.
Yes.
Briggs.
yes,
Weiss.
Yes.
that item is passed. The second item is,
First reading of an ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to amend the position classification plan and the employee compensation plan for BU employees to include service technician 2 and declaring an emergency.
Madam President, right now we have a service technician position that's always traditionally been filled by, a lot of you know, Mr. Brewer fills it right now. Before that was Rick Williamson. With the integration of technology and the more workload that we put on this position, we went ahead and reevaluated it and discovered that the pay for the amount of work that was being done was excessively low in that position. What we had only one meter tech, is what it was called prior to. That position was paid the same as a beginning laborer, basically the lowest paid position that we have, and that's kind of where they remain. So with the addition of a meter tech 2, or the second position, it gives that person that's in the one position room for advancement to advance up, and it also rewards them for the skills that they obtain through their 10 years of service. Right now, our meter tech does work. He goes into homes, installs meters, installs meters for places like Heinz, and this is all conducive to a skilled labor position. He turns one thing in the wrong way, and he could be flooding the basement of a home or Heinz or anything like that, and it's all a skilled position. I did an evaluation comparable to other cities, and spoke with the union. That's why I said bargaining unit is what the BU stands for. Bargaining unit asked me, and we were all in agreement that this position and the pay rate that we set it at was acceptable, which would be that of an operator. I'd like to get that past Rule 4 because he's already doing the work, and I'd like to get him paid what he should be.
I move to suspend Rule
Well,
4.
is the pay in the description? So I was reading through.
It should say 16, pay grade 16, which is that of
Okay.
an operator.
Okay. Thank
I'll
you.
second that motion.
But if not, it was an error.
Mr. Sleek made the motion to suspend Rule 4, seconded by Mr. Elder. Roll call, please.
Elder?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
I move to adopt.
Second.
It has been moved to adopt by Mrs. Reese, seconded by Ms. Briggs. Roll call, please.
Reese?
Yes.
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
That has been passed. Thank you.
And thank you to that person for gathering extra skills. That's fantastic.
And licenses too, I forgot. Got a lot of licenses that get accumulated when you get that high up where it's at.
Very nice.
We have to keep good workers in. Okay, the third item, please.
First reading of a resolution authorizing the approval and issuance of a warrant for payment of $7,186.37 to Marlon White and Sons and declaring an emergency.
Madam President Pro Tem, this one was related to the water treatment plant. They had some repairs that needed to get done. They had a purchase order out there for an estimate of what they thought was going to be needed to get repaired. And then the actual repairs came in over the purchase order. They put in a request to amend the purchase order, but it was after the date when the service was actually provided. So they had a PO out there, it just wasn't big enough for the work that actually was needed for the repair, and so we just had to bring that to council. So I would ask that we suspend Rule 4 so we can get that bill with Marlin and White paid.
I make a motion to suspend Rule 4.
I second.
It has been moved to suspend Rule 4 by Ms. Weiss, seconded by Mr. Adi. Roll call, please.
Reese?
Yes.
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Move to
Is
adopt.
that
Sorry.
7,000? Is that 7,000 over?
No, that's the
PO?
entire repair.
That's the entire?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Please.
Move to adopt.
Second.
It has been moved to adopt by Mrs. Weiss, seconded by Mr. Adi. Roll call, please.
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
If I could say something, this resolution wasn't in my box, so.
Oh, it probably was, the law director was out on vacation, and so he approved it electronically and got it back to the mayor's office to get it to you. So we'll just have to get it with his signature. He just couldn't officially sign it, which is probably why it didn't get put in your
So I'm just saying, if it's something that you need right away, then Andrew will have to come and I'll have to come to try to get it signed.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you though. And Madam President,
Yes.
just because Mrs. Briggs had a question, and she's new, it's probably not a bad point to kind of explain a little bit, because we do occasionally get these warrant for payments. So if a department does not get a purchase order, or in this case, a purchase order is insufficient, or maybe occasionally a purchase order might get closed on accident, but they hadn't received the bill yet, but they let my office know to close it. And so there's no active purchase order out there. If it is less than $3,000 over, so in this case, I believe the purchase order was originally $4,000. And so the invoice came in at $7,100. So it was more than $3,000. If it's less than $3,000, then I have the authority to do what's called a then and now. So I basically certify that that extra $3,000 or $2,500, for an example, was available then when I initially approved the PO, Ken and I, and then it is now still available for when they're paying the bill. So that's what a purchase order actually does, is my certification on a purchase order, I am certifying that those funds are available. And so when the purchase order's not there, then you don't really have that assurance that the funds were there. But the Ohio Revised Code only allows me to do that up to $3,000. If it's more than $3,000, then it has to get brought to council, and then council actually has to approve and authorize that warrant or the actual check to get released.
Thank you,
So
yes,
when that
okay.
happens, we actually hold the invoice and we wait to pay the vendor, and so that's why I typically ask for the suspension of Rule 4, so that way we can get that paid and get the vendor paid.
And the reason I asked if the 7,000 was total or over, I would have then asked why was the estimate so underestimated if it was 7 over, so.
Right, and I
thank you
can't
for that
remember the exact
clarification.
repair, but sometimes we just tell the departments, like, because sometimes they don't have time to estimate the repair and then get a PO, like they're estimating the repair while they're getting ready to do whatever the repair, if it's that critical of a repair. And at the treatment facilities, it's normally pretty critical that it gets done. So I always tell them, like, just try to get their best guess, put a PO out there. It's better to have something out there to set the money aside, and then if it happens to be more than $3,000 difference, we tried to estimate as best we could, like in this case. And then sometimes they overestimate, and maybe they estimated $7,000 and it came in at 5, and then the purchase order just gets closed and we pay the invoice. So just to kind of like bring you up to speed, and it's good for the public to hear those warrant for payments, because they do matriculate through, especially at the beginning of the year when the budget's just getting started and the PO system is up and running for the new year. Sometimes things happen and they don't have the PO dated the right way and that sort of thing. So just wanted a little bit more explanation and context.
I think the good thing about that is an accountability factor. So there's just multiple steps in place to make sure that purchase orders are being filled out correctly and that, you know, the right people are approving the expense of whatever that estimate was.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. That was a good refresher course. Next on the meeting, do we have any committee reports?
I do, Madam President. The LRO will have a meeting at 6:45 at the next council meeting, May 21st. We are required to renew our DORA license. Was it every 5 years, isn't it, Mr. Gross, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we want to change the hours of operation also. So, LRO committee, be here at 6:45, don't be late. Second of all, I was kind of approached by a group of people interested in our immigrant community, and they're putting together a resolution they would like us to consider. And I told them that on June 4th, we would have an LRO at 6:30 to see if our committee is in agreement to further that discussion. Okay? So we'll have an LRO at the next meeting at 6:45, and on June 4th at 6:30. I really can't give any more details.
June 1, please.
4th, that's the first meeting of June. That's all I have with committee reports, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oden. Is there anybody else?
Yes.
Mrs. Briggs.
Thank you. Several things this evening for Parks and Recreation. I just want to thank everyone who participated in both of the river cleanups in April and in May. We had about 30 people in total who came out, so thank you for a great showing from the community. Between those 2 dates, we collected hundreds of pounds of trash along the river. And so I also want to thank the city for helping us and coming to collect that trash after we were all done. It was a good workout. The last one, it was a little drizzly, but that's okay. We still had a lot of people come out, and we had some fishermen help us out as well. So that was pretty cool to see. As far as the recreation center, youth baseball and softball registration ends May 10th, so that was extended for a few days. The rec summer camp is coming up from June 15 to August 21st. There are many details on the rec center's website. on Facebook of weekly programs, when you can register, all, how much it is, or you can contact the rec center to get your kids into summer camp this summer. And then men's basketball league tips off May 31st and registration ends May 4th. So Bill, I know that you've been working on putting your team together, so just make sure that you're registered by May 24th.
Okay.
He's working on the jerseys.
I got some, guys that are coming out of retirement.
That's it, Madam President Pro Tem.
Field of Dreams, Court of Dreams.
Pardon me, sir?
Court of Dreams.
Amen.
Mr. Sleek is now.
That's all right. Keep in mind, a lot of construction, obviously, on 19 and Oak Harbor Road, and they are coming along very well on the new car wash, and a lot of orange barrels, and just please be careful going north and south, and watch your signs, and just be courteous to the other ones that are coming at you or flowing with you. That I had a situation tonight, a state highway patrolman was here, and I had my turn signal over plenty of time to get over because I was going north, headed home. And he looked over at me, and I thought, well, I was way ahead of you before. He did let me in, and so just be cautious, and I think it's gonna all be great. I know it will when we get all this done, but a lot going on right now.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have any comments on council? Okay, we'll start with the elected officials. Mayor Sanchez.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize my friend from the health department who's here tonight, Laura, she was at the Cinco de Mayo event this weekend, passing out bicycle helmets for kids. So always love and appreciate what you do for the community. She also shared some e-bike information with me. We didn't get to finish that conversation. The health department, and specifically her, has been a great asset to the city of Fremont, helping us with many different things. Also tomorrow, the basketball court at Roger Young Park is getting redone again. It's been 10 years already. It was my first year in office. That's getting redone. And very sadly, I'd ask everyone to keep my very good friend, Mr. John Lewis, in your prayers. He is going through it right now, and his family. John has been a huge asset, a mentor to me in my youthful days till even my mayor days. He's just been a huge asset to the community, so just ask you to keep John and his family in your prayers, and thank you all, and have a good evening, everyone.
Mr. Mayor, just to kind of follow up what you just said, just to let you know, I was subbing at Ross today, the resource officer, Officer Vasquez, shared with the Ross community your pamphlet on e-bikes.
Nice.
And a video for the kids to watch. So
Good.
your efforts are being followed up at the school level, and it was really, the pamphlet's really nice.
Thank you. That's great to hear.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
I
wanted to share that
saw
with
that.
you,
I'm
and-
excited to hear that.
And for those of you also, the mayor's son officially committed his way to run for the Tiffin University Dragons today. So they've picked up a very, very outstanding young man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done.
His mother did a fine job of raising.
I'm going with what
And
Bill
even
said.
the mayor would say, yes.
That's true. And you can ask Coach/Councilman Elder how many words I said today. How many?
Not as much as Mrs.
That's the best way.
Which is a first.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Brown,
Nothing this evening, thank you.
thank you. Department heads. Mr. Frost.
Thank you. Orange barrels. Let's talk about them. Hayes Avenue, everybody's asking me about Hayes Avenue, when we're actually gonna start milling possibly by the end of next week, that whole stretch, so.
Looking good.
I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna be an inconvenience. I can't mill without cars being moved and people not being able to park on the street. So I'm really looking forward to the project. Like I said, there's a good possibility, and the next week we're actually gonna start milling. I know that they're hustling to get the job done. I can tell you that on Oak Harbor Road, that crew that's working out there is really hustling. You never know that. I mean, the common person wouldn't know it, but they're really hustling with all the stuff. Our water sewer maintenance group has been working with them to make it go even faster, and our water sewer maintenance personnel have actually been coming in after hours at nighttime, Sunday nights and stuff, to do water shutoffs and repairs and stuff, so that the businesses and residents in that area don't get inconvenienced too much. So, like our whole team is really pulling together on this one to get it done as quick as we can. And I promise you that the only thing that is stopping any progress right now is the weather. And hopefully we have all these projects done here, within the next 4 weeks or so.
It's nice to receive complaints about construction projects, actually.
It is.
And remarkably, on Hayes Avenue, it's really kind of slowed some of the traffic down. Which is really nice.
Yeah, well, big dump truck parked in the middle of the road will do that.
Does help, yeah.
But that's, I'm sorry, Ms. Briggs, did you have something?
Yeah, would you mind mentioning Washington and the
Oh,
water
yeah,
project
yeah,
there?
sure, no problem. So that project is gonna be going out for bid May, I can't remember the date, 11th? May 11th, they'll be going out for bid. And it'll be up to the contractor when the work is actually scheduled. But that's a sewer project from the houses in the area that are connected to the private sewer line. The city is putting in the city sewer line out front. So the residents along there will have the option, they can either remain on that private line. I know some of them are having issues with the private line, but you're not forced to tie into it. You can still use the private line that's back there. But if you want to tie into the city sewer that we're gonna put in, you certainly can. It's definitely gonna be, I know for a couple of houses at least back there, it's gonna solve some major issues.
For the first time in how many years?
Ever. How long has that been there?
I said for the first time in how many years?
Ever.
Yeah.
It's a great project.
Oh,
It is.
I'm very much looking forward to that project.
It is. So, and as always, I would encourage anybody in council and also people in public, if you have specific questions, first I'll say look at Facebook, because we try to keep people posted on Facebook. But if there's specific questions on certain projects that you see around town, feel free to reach out to me in my office, and we'll get you the answers so that you can relay them back to your constituents. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frost. Mr. Gross.
Yeah, Madam President, two quick announcements. First, the Otto Urban Building on the east end of town at South Buchanan and State is scheduled to be demoed the last week of May. That's been something that the city, along with the land bank and the property owners, have worked on for over a year. If you remember, Otto Urban, Mr. Dummier closed up his shop years ago. Otto Urban moved downtown, and they had it listed, and there wasn't a lot of interest. And so I approached the family a year ago, made the arrangements, got in a grant got approved a few months ago, and so the last week of May is when they're scheduled to start the demo. So it's probably a bigger area than you think, because you have the photo shop on the corner, you have Otto Urban shop, and then between that and A Plus Cafe is a house that's getting demoed, and then behind the photo shop there's a green and white house that's also getting demoed. And so we're hoping at that time that I think word's getting out, and so I had a couple phone calls of potentially being interested, and so the other big question, is there a plan for it? No. I think the buildings being there has delayed, slowed, created obstacles, but knowing that demo is coming, I've taken 2 phone calls in the last 30 days, so I think clearing that path will garner a lot of interest. And then there is a second announcement, which I'm going to turn over to Mr. Kern to talk about, because I think there's going to be some legislation regarding the industrial park in front of you at the next council meeting. Are you?
So at the industrial park, there is a sale pending on the spec building that we have in place there. So that building is expected to potentially be sold in the month of June. So at that same time, we've looked at it, so, that KF Ventures and Janata and Herner Incorporated have partnered on that first building. That first building was a joint venture between the two of us. So with the sale of that building, we've asked Bob and the Fremont Development Corporation to get in a position where they could offer a similar amount of property on a similar set of terms that we had on the first property, and we would continue and go forward with another spec building in the industrial park. So what we're basically announcing is that has been asked of Fremont Development Corp. Fremont Development Corp. Has approved that. Bob has done some work with the city schools and the parochial schools, and everybody has and the vocational schools, and all the schools have indicated support for a similar program. So we expect to complete that process with Bob's help. We expect to get that process completed during the month of May. Hopefully, we would be able to announce a start of construction date sometime in June with a completion probably closer to year end. Sometime October, November-ish is when that project could potentially be complete. What that project will consist of, I don't have any artist renderings or anything at this point, but if you've been out to Opportunity Drive and looked at the project that's there, the project that we're proposing is very similar, almost identical in size and shape to the existing building. The building that we're going to build will be exactly the same as the first building we built. That's 100,000 square feet. So the new proposal will be exactly the same size, a little deeper into the industrial park. It'll come off of the, access to it will come off of the cul-de-sac there. But that project will be announced in June once we have all the approvals and so on for that. And once we're sure that the first building is going to close. The first building that we built there is in due diligence now. I'm not at liberty, unfortunately, to tell you the attributes of the company that's coming in, but it's a very nice manufacturing type of company. They will start with 30 or 40 employees. They would expect to be at something close to 100 employees after 3 years. So that's their plan. We've been to visit their plant. This is a Canadian company, so it's out of the country. Ourselves and Janata and Herner traveled up there last week on Tuesday, spent the day in their plant. There's a significant amount of modifications that have to be made to the new building and so on. So we're basically up there to support them from an engineering and design standpoint as to how they would go about getting all that accomplished. Their goal is to complete that project in the first quarter of 27. So they're, like I say, I wish I could share their name and what they do and so on, but can't do that quite yet. But once their due diligence is complete and they accept everything, then we'll be able to talk about that, and you'll understand why it's going to take a few more months for them to get in a position to actually start production. So their early production would be late in the first quarter of 2027. So that's the plan. I think you'll hear more things from us like that. We have very, very good response to your industrial park. I mean, this industrial park is absolutely amazing. It's the #1 visited site for Ohio leads currently. It's the most, it's the industrial park that has attracted the most amount of leads, and it's practically daily that Bob, myself, or Christie, or our realtors, somebody is fielding a call on this industrial park 3-4 times a week. So I think we made wise decisions when we collectively decided to build this park. We've been very fortunate to have a tenant at this point, a potential client that's going to enter the park and become a community person. They have a phase 2 to this project that in a couple of years could be even more significant. So I think we've got a potential good client here. But the important thing is to know that you're still going to have a spec building out there, and we can immediately continue to talk about the potential new spec building from a sales standpoint. So all of the leads that we've generated, which I think there's 18 open leads right now on it, that haven't said no. So these are leads that have said, I'm very interested, I'm coming to look, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, whatever they're doing it. But there's, I believe, about 18 open leads. I just reviewed the lead file with Jones LaSalle Lang, who's the realtor that represents us on this industrial park. So we should all be excited about that, and we will be bringing something to council as time goes on here. We are at the, what is that called, board, the review. Planning Commission. We are scheduled in front of Planning Commission next week. So we will be in front of Planning Commission with our plan. But for you to know first, our plan is really an identical building. So the new site, 16-acre site, just like the last site was, identical site layout and all of that sort of stuff. We hit it pretty good the first time, and so we decided that we would just repeat that. We have a little bit more of a hill to climb from a timing standpoint. Lead times are pretty long on the steel for the building, so it makes us a little later than we wanted to be. We wish that we could deliver this building in September, but we can't make that happen because of availability of the building package. So you know, it'll be what it is. We'll finish it in October, November. By the first of the year, it'll be there. But the good news is that it'll allow us to keep all the leads that we currently have in place and keep them as ongoing opportunities. So far, it's working.
Thank you for the update.
That's all I really have, unless you want me to.
Nope, I think that was perfect.
I'm happy to answer any questions. If any of the council people have questions, I'd be happy to take a question or two.
Yeah, now that we have someone interested in the building, I know the city invested dollars into this construction, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Well, not into the building construction. They invested in building the industrial park.
Okay, so the city invested money to help build the industrial park. When will the city see that return on investment and recoup of dollars?
So the really good news is that the first potential sale that we have here, the sale that we have in hand, is a sale. It's not a lease.
Yeah.
So you know, that means that the city will get paid for the land that this building has been built on at the time that closes. So if that closes according to plan, it would close in late June. And if it closes in late June, early July, somewhere in that time frame, then the city would receive the money for that land, for that 16 acres of land that was used for the first building at that closing.
Okay, so that's under a year from.
Yeah, less than a year, yeah. That's exactly what it is less than a year, from start to finish. Don't hold us to that on every future building, because you just don't know, you know, when you do these things. But, you know, those of you that know me know that I've done this, you know, more than a few dozen times in this community and other communities, and these things are possible, but they don't always come on the timeline you want. It's funny, we have an early lead, just that's, to me, is humorous, but we have an early lead that may turn into a build-to-suit later this year or next year. That's they couldn't make the first round. They kind of won this building, but they hadn't done all their homework, so they weren't really prepared to get to the point where they could commit, either lease or otherwise, to the property. And so we'll continue to talk to that lead on a twice-a-month basis. So, you know, those kind of things, we're just building the momentum for this industrial park. And if you remember our original presentation, when we presented asking the city to build this industrial park, the idea is that we're going to build approximately 1,000 jobs at this location. It may take 5 or 6 years, but over that time, we would expect this park to be similar to Bark Creek. I think there's 900 and some jobs at Bark Creek currently. We expect that this park's about the same size. We would expect approximately the same number of jobs to be created in this industrial park as we created in Bark Creek over time.
Can
Yes.
I jump in really quick? Do you mind if I interrupt?
No, I'm happy to have
Ms.
you
Bree,
interrupt. Everybody should interrupt.
Being the newest member of council,
That's throwing around a lot tonight.
I think it's, well, I think it's important for you to know this, because when this administration planned this industrial park very strategically, and the monies that were used for this industrial park were actually COVID fund monies.
I know.
So we didn't squander our COVID fund monies, we actually invested it so that we could spend the money multiple times as it was given to us.
Yeah,
I didn't realize you were aware of that, but
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
you were.
And I get questions from constituents who are upset that COVID dollars were used for this project. So that's also why I asked where it's
Well, we
recouped back
get
to
to
the
spend it
city.
twice, though.
Yeah.
But this is why I asked the question, so that we can provide
Well,
that
and I
answer.
think there's other caveats in how it's structured. So the state gave us $500,000 toward the construction of Opportunity Drive. The county commissioners owned the property, and they threw in $1 million worth of property for the development, and then they get paid after it gets developed and sold. And so that becomes a little bit of a pass-through. They get their money at a later date. And then to the point of the ARPA dollars, $1.2 million put into the development of the industrial park with the thought that we'd get it back. And I think we have to keep in mind, our general fund is primarily funded off income tax revenue, and so jobs become very important. And prior to this industrial park, we had a 10-acre site. We couldn't submit for leads, we couldn't create new jobs.
That was the largest site we had, was a 10-acre site prior to building this industrial park. We didn't have a fully approved industrial park site that was bigger than 10 acres. And we built on 16 with the first building, which is the right size for the project. I mean, 100,000 square foot building is a big building, you know, and it requires a site that's 14 to 16 acres to build that size of a building.
So, so I think knowing that we're driven by income tax revenue to pave our streets, to pay our police officers, knowing that the value we have in the land and how it's structured with the ARPA dollars, the OSIP, the Ohio Site Inventory Program through the state of Ohio, and then the land leverage from the commissioners, freed up some of that capital. And so it really is a pretty, I think to Mr. Frost's standpoint, we sat in a room with the auditor and lawyers and strategically structured a plan, and so I think, and honestly, it seems to be a pretty fast-going development. I think if you can look back to our most recent industrial park, or maybe 53 is more recent, but I think of Bark Creek when that got started.
53 is more recent.
Yeah, so I think of Bark Creek when that got started in the early 90s, it stalled out. And I'm not sure why, but it just stalled out. And it wasn't until just a few years ago that the last bit of land was sold and developed to the Lagersmith Group. And so I think to maximize that potential, that industrial park took 30 years. And so we have an industrial park when we started that's 130 acres, and now 32 acres of that is now being used, and we'll be under 100 acres of available industrial space.
It's kind of funny how fast it
So from an
goes.
industrial development standpoint, to go from farm field to 2 buildings in less than 5 years is lightning fast in industrial development.
Other questions?
Sorry, John, I know you told me to keep it short tonight.
That's good. That's good. Good question.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kern. Is there any other comments from the public? Is there any other? Yes.
Hello, my name's Ivan Finko, and
Can you,
Excuse
can
me,
you come
could you
up front?
come forward,
Okay,
please?
let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Could you come up front and just state your name and address?
my name's Ivan Finko, and I live on Hayes Avenue. I wanted to bring up something regarding to the flock cameras I've seen around town. I can see the good that they can bring, but they have a lot of downsides that I don't see many people talk about. For one, the AI it's used is flawed. A big safety concern is that these are tracking people, and it's flawed. Not perfect. Back in October of 2025, a flock camera labeled a kid in Newwood High School in Baltimore, it labeled a kid's snack as a gun. While he was enjoying his lunch, when police pulled up, guns in hand, forced him to the ground and handcuffed him while they searched him for a gun that wasn't even there. Secondly, police have been stalking people on it. In Methuen, Wisconsin, Officer Kristen Morales was charged in January 2026 for using flock and APR systems to stalk his ex-girlfriend. He made 5 unauthorized searches on his ex car in October 2025. It was a moment of weakness that he admitted, but that doesn't change what he did was wrong. And recently, over in Dayton, Ohio, police have been caught using a network share feature, allowing several government agencies access to them which they had no prior access due to flock protocol, leaving immigrants and civilians alike at risk of their personal information being leaked.
What was your name again?
Ivan Franco.
Franco?
Yep,
And you're talking about cameras?
flock
Flock
cameras.
Do we have those?
Oh, we do?
Correct, yes.
Are you concerned that our police force is using them nefariously, illegally?
I am concerned about the AI system flagging people and harassing people. And I'm not saying that the cops are bad. I'm just saying that this information that these cameras are scanning people's faces and license plates as they pass by. AI isn't accurate, and I believe police should be more cautious when looking into these, when they do report something to them.
How the data is being
Right,
used.
right,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah,
That is a concern. That is a concern.
I'm sure that
I don't know.
Mr. Frost is our city service director, will look into that matter.
Sure.
Thank you very
And
much.
Mr. Franco, thank you, that was really brave of you to come and talk to us.
Yes,
this
thank
evening.
you.
Thank you for your time.
And
Yes.
I'm your city councilwoman, so if you'd like to contact me later, we can talk about this too, if that's all right.
That would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further business?
I move to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call?
Briggs,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Sleep.
Yes.
Debbie, have a safe trip.